In the first of this three-part series on Bawtry Railways, we looked at the building of Bawtry Viaduct and its effect on the town's commerce and culture.
In this video, we set out to explore what remains of Bawtry Railway Station.
And we delve into the archives to find some shocking and surprising stories that took place at the station, including one incident which nearly led to a major national railway disaster. So here we have Station Hill Cottage, the old station master's house, and sadly the only major building still remaining of the railway station. The station opened in 1849 and was finally closed to goods traffic in 1971. And if we peer over this fence onto the line, you can see some debris there left from the old railway. So a good clue here that we're at the site of Bawtry Old Station. We just found a couple of bits of debris still by the side of the line from the days where the station stood. And with a keen eye you can just see parts of the old platform remaining across the current line. Small bits of metal gate posts here, maybe there's a gate entrance to the old railway station. So an interesting fact about Bawtry Station is that the royal family, when attending the races at Doncaster, the famous St Leger meeting and other meetings, would alight at Bawtry Station and go by road along the Great North Road into Doncaster, rather than get off at the very busy Doncaster station amongst the throngs of racegoers. So they'd be driven down the road, Station Road, where we're walking now. So what about those less joyous events that occurred at Bawtry Station over the decades? Well, in 1880, a tramp called Thomas Ford was sentenced to 2 months hard labour for trying to pickpocket from a lady on the station platform. In 1892, a 19-year-old youth working at the station slipped and fell on a rail, and sadly his head was sliced off by a train coming out of the goods siding. And in 1915, a young man died in mysterious circumstances, run over by a train. Interesting to note, this was just a couple of months before conscription was introduced in the First World War, so one may speculate about his state of mind, although a verdict of accidental death was recorded. But in all the research that we have done, the standout story for us occurred in 1936 and involved this famous train, the Silver Jubilee, which ran between London and Newcastle. On the 20th of February 1936, the train had just passed through Scrooby at about 7:25 and had had a signal it was okay to proceed up to Bawtry. However, in a nearby Crown Hotel in the marketplace, a man named William Elsom had been drinking. Unfortunately, he was in charge of driving a car for delivery from Coventry all the way up to Bridlington, and he'd got involved in some drinking games to the extent where the barmaid had refused to serve him any more alcohol. So having left the pub, he was meant to proceed along the Thorn Road on his way to Bridlington. However, in his slightly inebriated state, he went up Station Road instead. An eyewitness later reported that he was driving erratically in the gutter on the left-hand side. He then asked somebody to help him with his lights, and mistaking the turn onto Thorn Road, he managed to drive through the gates of the railway station and deposit his car onto the line, as you can see here. Now this is a very interesting drawing. It was done by a gentleman called Jack Smith, who was the son of a station master, a boy at the time, who wrote a lovely book about the history of the station in the 1930s, much later in life. So remember, the Silver Jubilee had been given leave to pass through Scrooby Station and was heading towards Bawtry at a rate of about 65 to 70 miles an hour. Fortunately, a quick-thinking plate layer by the surname of Fogg managed to alert the signalman, a man named Ezra Kitchen, who put the signals to danger, meaning that the train ground to a halt just 60 or 70 yards in front of where the car was. Just imagine the loss of life that would have occurred had a train ploughed into a car at 70 miles an hour, laden with dozens of passengers. Elsom pleaded guilty, was fined £50 and lost his driving licence for 3 years. So Elsom lost his driving licence temporarily, but Bawtry sadly has lost its old railway station, which was built in 1849, and so little of it remaining today.
Trains still pass through Bawtry on the East Coast Main Line today.
However, there is another part of Bawtry's railway history which is long forgotten, and that is the Bawtry to Haxey Light Railway. So little of it remains, but we spent a few days exploring what we could find about the Bawtry to Haxey Railway, finding every inch of it that still seems to be in place on the landscape, and in the third and final video in this series we will take you on a journey along this long lost railway, seeing what traces it has left on the landscape. So I hope you've enjoyed this delve into Bawtry's railway past. If you have, please give this video a like, and if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, how it works, it's absolutely free. You just press the subscribe button and you'll see all our future history uploads when we put them onto YouTube.
So join us next time where every journey begins with a path to the past.